Hey guys, so
Hello.
we're here recording episode 2 of Anything Flows.
Thank you guys for coming back. Welcome back.
So my name's Adrienne,
I'm Annette.
and most people who are watching this probably know us. They're family, they're friends, but even if you don't know us, thanks for watching.
This is Anything Flows.
Yeah, we came up with a name after we recorded the first podcast episode.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a name for what we were going to call it. Like,
It's
so
hard to come up with
It's
a
hard,
name.
yeah.
So,
Because you want it to be something that's like easy to remember, and this is like perfect. I really like it. So
yeah, I love it. I think it
merch
flows. Let us know.
maybe
That's funny. We could. Yeah.
think about it. But
So.
yeah, no, this is the podcast that we have, Anything Flows. This is something that I wanted to have and do with my sister Annette, because I feel like we have conversations about these kinds of things all the time, and like it just is a fun way for me to kind of share a little bit more about these things that we're talking about, and like also relate that to health coaching, which is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So
how did you come up with the name?
It came to me when I was meditating. I'm not kidding.
Dude, that's crazy.
It
I
sounds
tried. I tried before bed.
It sounds like
writing them down, brainstorming. But I don't know. That probably did it for you, the meditating.
Yeah, I think it, we'll get into that today, because we're going to talk about stress management and like how meditation is like one of the best things that you could do for yourself.
For sure.
But yeah, no, it sounds like all woo woo because it's like it came to me in a meditation, but
that's where the best ideas might come from. Actually, yeah, you just sat with yourself and it came to you.
Specifically,
you didn't have to go
sound bowls.
for it. Oh, and sound bowls, yes.
Yeah, so not a guided meditation. Yeah,
beautiful. That's why it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. So how was your day? How was school? Annette went to work today. Went to work with the children.
Oh yeah, shaping our youth. It's my passion. It was honestly today with my kids. They were testing all day, and I don't know if you guys remember testing, but these days it's different with the iPads. And these kids, as soon as they finish with their test, want to do something and they can't. And so I have to be like a police and be like, no, you really can't talk. You really can't get up. You really can't be on your iPad. I had to police them to be absolutely still or fall asleep, absolutely quiet or fall asleep or something. And if you work with 9 and 10-year-olds with like I did today, you will lose your patience so quick. I thought I had a lot of patience until every single one started asking me for something.
Can they read books or do anything like that?
This time they couldn't. They were taking a reading test, so they couldn't bring books into the classroom. We had to cover the walls, all the words.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had to cover it all up. It was kind of ridiculous. I thought that oh, we have to cover everything up, even the lunch menu. These guys were like, yes, even the lunch menu. And I was like, okay, so we covered the lunch menu, covered everything. So no books allowed. No, they can't be on their iPad afterward. They can't even draw.
What do they do?
They sit quietly. They just sit
they
quietly
meditate?
And they went to sleep. No, dude, none of them meditated. This kid was doing backflips off his chair and crawling on the floor. They cannot sit still. Which I don't blame them.
Do you guys play music?
That was so hard for me too to watch. As a student, we played some nice music. To answer your question, we played some nice piano music and stuff because I was with another teacher. But anyway, I was just made me feel so bad for them too, because I was like, how am I gonna tell this kid he can't just let out his energy with some wiggles? It's just hard to have to tell this kid to. Because specifically, I'm thinking of one who's just needed to move his body so bad, and he was just moving every second, and I was feeling so bad that I was just like, stop, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't. You're distracting so many students. And we are in a small group on purpose partly because either the students are part of the distractions in a big group of a class, or because they are prone to looking at the distractions or falling to the distractions in a classroom during testing. So that's why they get into a small group. And then it's just you get them all together, and it's kind of concentrated all in my class. So
yeah, and they have to be quiet.
Yeah, it just stressed me out today. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of built up on me.
You're stressed?
I'm stressed right now.
I think we can talk about that.
And I can feel the kids' stress. That's more the of what I am feeling stressed. I can feel the kids' stress, and I'm trying to make it less stressful for them. And I wish I knew how.
Is it AIMS?
It's not even AIMS anymore. We don't do AIMS. We use the AASA, Arizona Assessment, State Assessment. I don't really know what it's all called, but AASA, and it's all on the iPads.
What's an iPad kid supposed to do without an iPad?
dude, go crazy, go stupid.
Yeah.
That's all they do. I don't know. They were like about to fight with me to get their iPads back because some of them got them taken away because they cannot listen. But there's like reasons behind that. Everyone has a story. That's what I want everyone to know too. Everyone has a story. That's why I am naturally, we're all quick to judge and we're all quick to make assumptions, but then bring it back to like everyone has their own story, so you can't really do that. You should stop. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. It helps me. It opens my eyes. 2 days this week, 2 days last week. Between that, they're like practicing like crazy because these scores reflect on us and blah blah blah. And so
testing.
It's kind of serious. It's a lot for these little kids.
I know it is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're doing a good job. Like
I hope I am, and I try my best. So that's the goal. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, did you want to ask me your little icebreaker question?
I did. So, like, just for me personally, as someone who's going into college, well, I'm in college and I'm in a major already, but the world is like my oyster. So, tell me, were you always wanting to be into nutrition, into health, that field, or where did that come from?
Well, no, I did not. I knew I was going to go to college. I knew I was going to do something probably science related. And I was in 4-H and FFA, like as I was a kid, and then in high school in FFA. And I thought that was going to be like my career, especially being in Yuma. Like I thought I was going to go into agriculture. But then when I went to AWC for the first 2 years of college, I just like didn't enjoy it. Like I was like, I don't want to work in this industry. Like I liked FFA. I liked showing animals. Like that's what I liked. But I don't really care for the agriculture part of it, but I did like the nutrition part, like the food science, like learning about GMOs and organic foods and stuff like that. And then I kind of wanted to go like more of the medical route. After I figured I didn't want to do that, I changed my major so many times. I went for ag, and then I was like, maybe I'll be a teacher. Like our mom's was a teacher. She was my third grade teacher. She's probably a lot of people's third grade teachers. She's some of my clients'
or
teachers.
Principal or vice principal or something. Yeah.
And now she's the principal at San Pasquale, and that's where we got Kiska. But yeah, I thought I was going to go that route, just like that's what my mom did kind of thing. And I like to be around kids and stuff, and I felt like I could do that. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I was thinking like something more medical, like nursing, kind of like what a lot of people were doing, but it just didn't seem fun to me either. Like it seemed like no offense, but it seemed miserable. Like
if it's something that's not like your passion, something that drives you.
It just felt very clinical, and I didn't want to do that. Like I liked health, but I didn't want to do really anything clinical. Right. But then I was like, well, I don't want to be a doctor, and I don't want to be a nurse, so maybe I'll be a physical or a physician assistant. Like that was kind of something newer that they were starting to open up pathways for in college, and I thought I could do that. And to get into school to be a physician assistant, you have to major in like have specific requirements to qualify for the program, and a lot of that is like health science. And so you just pick a major that is related to health, and a lot of people were going for the nutrition route, especially because it's more preventative medicine rather than like treating diseases. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll use the nutrition degree to like help me get into PA school. And then once I just started taking the classes, I'm like, I really like nutrition. And then from there, like figuring out if I wanted to be a dietitian or like what else I could do, because if you can go to school to be a nutritionist like I was, you're taking the same classes that the dietetic students take, except your senior year it's a little bit different, and then you would have to take an exam and do an internship, and now you have to get a master's degree to be a registered dietitian. And that was still super clinical. Like it was working a lot in hospitals and stuff. And so I didn't really want to do that. And then I just graduated. I graduated in 2020 from U of A with nutrition. And then I still didn't really know what I was going to do. But I was doing cancer research at the research center for U of A. And I liked that. So I figured I would go into doing research because I really like that. But yeah, I think I just went more of like the public health route after I graduated, and it was during COVID, so like there really weren't a lot of opportunities for being picky about what you wanted to do, and that was still something really cool to do here in Yuma in my community. But it was during COVID, and we didn't really get the opportunity to go out into the community like we were supposed to. But I decided, I was like, I want to do something like this, like serve the community, but like maybe more on a one-on-one way. I think that's can be a lot more
personable, because that's who like you are. You get your like message out there like on a personal level. I think that's also what I've seen in you.
Yeah. And so I wanted to do just something more personable, something that could like really help you apply something, because it's what's the point of like knowing all this nutrition information if we can't apply it? Like we all know what we should be doing.
Anything if we can't apply it.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to do. And then I got my health coaching certification, and I didn't even finish taking the exam, and I was already hired to be a health coach for a company called Profile. And then I coached there for about like a year and a half. And at the same time, I still was kind of like trying to work on building a business in a way, and just like figuring out how I wanted to coach. It's not easy. Like, can I just say that? It's not easy to like figure out like how to get clients and do all this. Like, I've invested in mentorships. I've done a lot to try to do it, but just like knowing your stuff, knowing how to be a coach isn't enough. Like, you also have to build so many skills, especially if you want to go the entrepreneur route. But I will say it's great. Like, I'm very grateful for like the flexibility that I have and how I get to control what I'm coaching, and you know, like that, versus somebody telling me how to coach. Like, nothing beats that.
Exactly. You uphold your values, and your values are like, no one can break them down. Like before, I feel like you kind of had to conform to like some other system that you had to work for, and it was just, you knew from the beginning too. I remember when you worked for another company that it was not what you wanted to like keep doing. You needed to make it better. You needed this step to make something better out of it.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly how I looked at it. Like, this is, I can't get to where I want to be without practice. Like, it helped me gain a lot of practice working one-on-one with people. And even though like the company and the program really isn't the best for getting you the results that you want going in the door, like I'm able to like now be a better coach because of that. So yeah. And then I started my company, my business in February of this year, so 2 months ago. And I've been coaching clients and just really working on like
2 months ago
building all this. Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
It's just like we've been going so fast. I feel like, can't believe it's been 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, April's almost, like, cause it was like all of February, all of March. Okay. 3 months.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Cause the beginning of February, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, 3 months is nothing compared to like the rest of my life though. That's what I always like remind my clients too, when they're like, I've been in the gym for 3 months, or I've been doing these changes for 3 months and I'm not seeing progress. And I'm like, these 3 months are nothing compared to like the rest of your life and what you really want, 10 years down the line. So just remind yourself of that with whatever you're doing.
For sure. Perspective.
But I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like, I love what I do because it doesn't feel like work. Like, I'm just trying to live my best life and trying to help other people live their best life.
Yeah. And you're glowing.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's flow. Has it flowed ever since? I feel like since you found that you want to do this on your own. Yeah.
And if anybody has like questions on how, because I got the sweetest message this morning from this girl who watched my YouTube video from like almost 2 years ago when I took my ACE health coaching certification exam, which is the first certification that I have. And I recorded a video after like recapping what I focused on to study to pass the exam, because it's a hard exam to pass because it's like 300 questions. It's expensive. Like, you don't want to mess around with it, like, to get your certification. And she watched it and she messaged me and she's like, I just want to say, like, thank you for being so, like, real and addressing, like, concerns and just, like, super nice, and just that she could kind of, like, see herself almost, and, like, see the, like, somebody else being, like, authentic about coaching and what to do and what the challenges are and things like that, which is what I talked about in that video. So go back to that video if you're taking the ACE coaching exam, or if you have questions about coaching and how to do it. Like, another program that I highly recommend is Nutrition Coaching Institute, because they really helped to like fill all the gaps that I was missing when it came to what I maybe didn't really understand fully, even with a nutrition degree, a bachelor's in nutrition, and the ACE coaching certification and the experience that I had working one-on-one. Like, there was still a lot of things that I needed to understand from maybe like an exercise science standpoint that they really helped to like figure out. or helped me figure out.
Very good tip, because we can't do this alone. If you
and they
have
offer
resources, or if you know someone who can help you, like, reach out. That's like one important thing, is to make connections, make relationships. That's how we grow. So
and they offer mentorship as well, which is what I really like about them. I think eventually I will like get into that to grow my business and scale it, because they do a good job. They know what they're talking about. So I have a question for you too then. Okay. So what is something that is really hard for you, but you try to at least see what you can be grateful for and like shift your perspective with, to try to like not let it affect you as much?
Men,
yes.
I'm just kidding. Man itself. No, I think like, I'm going to school right now for an education degree, a special education degree, and my first few semesters I had to be real. Like, I wasn't being real with myself up until last semester, and I had to realize, what am I doing this for? What am I showing up for? And so nowadays I kind of tend to ask myself that question more often. I ask myself, like, what am I doing this for? And it's easier to see that when I go to work, and I'm grateful for my kids that I get to work with. And I'm also really sad that I might not get to work with them forever, but I mean, that's the beauty of it. And I get to work with so many different individuals, and getting to go to school, learning from one of my favorite professors at the moment, Mr. Rudy Ortiz. Shout out to you, because he's just changed my world, and he knew he would do that. His class has the power to do that. Child growth and development with him, if you're ever interested in going into that route, education, because Yuma needs educators, and that's kind of what he's opened my eyes to. Everywhere needs educators, right? But here's where I can make the change. And so really seeing myself as like potentially these kids' heroes, or their kids' heroes, being able to be a teacher for as long as I can. I mean, I want to be a teacher, or at least I want to work with children, no matter what that is. I can be, whether that be an autism therapist, or, you know, in a daycare, or in, you know, high schools. Like, I mean, the limits are, let me say that again. There is no limit to,
because those are all what's, you know, like you're focusing on your why, which is a really good book that I highly recommend reading. Start with Why. That book, it was like when I first started kind of like getting into reading for like just putting my mindset into a place where I could like focus on business and that kind of stuff, and just getting more into reading in general. That was one of the first books that I read, and that really helped me to figure out like, what do I really want to do? Like, I have a degree in nutrition, but what do I want to do with it? And like, so you focus on like what your why is, and like it's like you're really learning how to, like, how your growth and your development affects you.
Yeah, and I hate to say that so much, but it's more of just like more of the care, more of the nurture, and the awareness of like your environment, because like another thing that I will say a lot is like nature and nurture. It's like you have your environment that you're affected by, but you also have like the people around you that you're affected by. And so like, I want to be that person, and I want to have that ability to make some child's world change, like my professor has. And I feel like that's kind of given me a boost this semester. I feel like is when I found myself really like passionately dedicated right now to, I need this degree. I need to be in the classroom already, because that's
it
what
was
I want
not
to do.
Smooth. It hasn't been smooth.
No, guys. Since like COVID happened, I'm seriously, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. Even like, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to having to go to online classes, and then all of a sudden,
like starting college that way.
Like, I did not get the common college experience. I mean, my first semester, I took a good amount of classes, but they were all virtual, and so I was home all day, and I was only accountable for myself. And at that point in my life, I didn't have my executive like functioning skills that are required to be an adult and be in college and succeeding. You know, I didn't have the things I needed to thrive, but I needed to ask for more, because I wasn't asking for help. That's kind of where I felt like really low. And I mean, if I had gotten that help, I may have saw myself being successful sooner.
Yeah. We're not going to say what your GPA was or you know, how, yeah.
Can't believe you just brought up my GPA. Let's move on.
I didn't bring it up. I said we're not going to bring it up.
I know.
But you're doing better.
Yes.
You're setting an example.
Mm-hmm.
You're inspiring kids.
I've changed.
You're inspiring
I've
me.
proven that people can change.
I wake up now early because of you.
I just make you wake up early.
Yeah. No, like Annette is doing it. She's going to school, like going to work, like at the school, going to school and going to the gym, like doing all these things, doing the podcast with me. So, no, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It's just, you know, life is what you make it. It's like,
isn't that a Hannah Montana song?
Hopefully. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know Hannah like that. I know Miley. But I just, yeah, I was going to say something before that and I forgot. Life is what you make it. But like, I just think I didn't realize that, how much power I had over my own life, how much control I had over my own life. I felt like I was making myself a victim for a long time until now. Yeah, until recently.
Yep. Do you think your perspective changed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
That'll
not only has my perspective changed, I've gained many perspectives. I'm not just one perspective. I'm like open to others, and I have that ability to see others now.
Yeah. So you're
grateful for my passion that I found, and like my
even if it's hard to
I really feel like giving a lot of credit to my professor who's just sparked this passion. Like school's
not your mom.
I love you, mommy.
Speaking of changing your perspective, I feel like that helps you to like get out of that victim mentality and start focusing on like what you do have control over and taking action on those things. And I feel like that's where a lot of stress usually stems from.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about stress management, self-care, and like and why like we need to be prioritizing it. So I'm a health coach. Like I focus on nutrition, I focus on exercise and fitness and physical well-being, but you have to understand that stress plays a really, really big role in your health and how you can create changes like weight loss or building muscle or having more energy. Like all of these are changes that the body has to produce after going through a stress, and it only can produce that if you are recovering. So we're going to talk about how we recover and like ways that I want you to feel like you can also start applying today.
Yeah, we really want to emphasize that recovery stage.
Yeah.
It's so important that it's just like underrated.
That's
actually
where all of the changes happen. Like people think, oh, if I go to the gym, that's what is going to lose weight. Like I'm losing weight now or whatever it is. No, like you're losing that in the after window when your body has to create changes to come back stronger from that stress. So with that being said, I just have a few questions that like take some time to think about these things, maybe journal about them, and just kind of like, the reason I'm asking these is to kind of like put you into like coming at this from a perspective of like what you maybe can work on or how these things could help you in your life. So what are ways that you manage stress now? Do they align with your health goals? Are there health goals or are there ways of managing stress that also don't align with your health goals? Right?
Gotta be looking out for those, because you might not know the difference. You know, you might just not even have like categories.
For example, like drinking, like definitely something that people use to help with managing stress.
Drinking and smoking, yeah.
Right. But are they maybe like the most helpful for your health goals if you want to lose weight or whatever it is? Like I keep saying lose weight, but just so you guys like understand like an example. But there's tons of other reasons why that could also not maybe align with your health goals. But it's ultimately like up to you to kind of decide what that is. Right. So another question is, what triggers or situations tend to increase your stress levels?
Gotta look out for those. Yeah.
What thoughts or beliefs contribute to your stress? And are they based on reality or perception?
Ooh, that's a good one. I just like, because how many times are you guys writing this down? Because how many times do you stop and ask yourself that, like in the moment? Because we can sometimes just like totally be swallowed by our emotions or our stress specifically. We should take the time to slow down and ask these for sure.
Yeah. And I think too, a lot of the stress can just come from worrying about the future or being anxious or worrying about the past.
Right.
And a lot of that is maybe just our perception of like what people think or what could happen versus reality. And I think once you start to make that kind of like mindset shift, a lot of these stressors can just go away so easily. Think about those questions. Think about what your stressors are, what triggers your stress, and like kind of how you manage it right now. And I'm going to try to explain. If you want me to send you this guide that I have that breaks down stress management and the nervous system, because that's kind of what I wanted to explain a little bit about, is the nervous system and how your hormones play a role in managing stress. But I can send you a guide to kind of explain it a little bit better. So just reach out to me. But basically you have either your fight or flight or your rest and digest systems. Mm-hmm. And what our body wants to do at like the foundation, at the core, is keep us alive and keep us healthy enough to reproduce and carry on our DNA. Mm-hmm. Like there's so much other amazing things about life, but that's really at the core what is going on and why these things happen. So think about either basically stress hormones like cortisol or sex hormones like testosterone or estrogen. Those are your stress hormones and your sex hormones. So they kind of are like inverse to each other. So when one's high, the other's low. So if you're in a really stressed place, your body is not focusing on reproducing. It's focusing on survival. So you're not probably going to have a healthy cycle as a woman. You are going to be storing more fat and just your body's going to want to create a lot of adaptations to protect you against this perceived threat that it has. Because that's what our brain is trying to do. It's trying to protect us from any kind of threat that it perceives. And so that's why changing your perspective or your perception of something can help you to not trigger that fight or flight response. So
okay, makes sense.
Basically, staying in that survival mode all the time, and with high cortisol, it's going to leave you in a chronic fatigue state. It's going to leave you in that fight or flight for too long. You have to focus on recovery in order to make positive adaptations to make you come back bigger, stronger, or like mentally more capable of handling that same challenge or another more challenging thing.
Yeah, so you're not always over capacity. You gotta,
that's exactly what it is. It's like you're fatiguing yourself too much with chronic fatigue or just staying in that stress, fight or flight place that you're not letting your body recover. And so that's why you're not able to see, changes that you want to. Does that make sense?
No, I do. Yeah, it does make sense. It does to me.
Yeah.
Let us know.
It's kind of hard. I've never like really explained it obviously on a podcast, but with coaching, like when I'm talking and applying it to your day-to-day life, like it's a lot easier to like help explain these things.
Make it less like broad to
right.
Because you're kind of generalizing to relate to as many people as we can, but it's not the same for everyone, right?
Right. And like it could be physical stress, like going to the gym or being in a calorie deficit, or even mental stress. Like,
exactly.
We definitely want stress. Like we want change, we want growth.
Right.
But too much stress is where we are seeing like you're just exhausted. You're staying in a depleted state. That's not what we want. So what we want to talk about is just some ways to recover and prioritizing recovery. Like recovery is just as important as the actual training stimulus that you're giving yourself or the actual stress that you're going through. You've got to recover. You've got to make those improvements. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit too about like how self-care and like stress management can sometimes feel selfish in a way. Like, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I talked about this on the last episode, that I struggle to stop and evaluate and take care of myself because it feels selfish. Genuinely, to me, I feel like there's so much to worry about, but in reality, that is the time where I should stop and ask myself, is that something I'm just perceiving, or is it something, like you said, like that's actually something I need to worry about? So it's just my perception most of the time, because I'm worried someone else may need me right now, or someone else will perceive me as lazy right now. I don't want to seem lazy right now. I have other things to do. When really, if I have other things to do, I'm probably not going to perform at my best if I'm not recovered. So like those things that I want to do my best in and thrive in, I need to take the time to take care of myself to do. So, I mean, I realize that now, but yeah, I felt lazy before trying to bring awareness to myself and what I needed. I was kind of just, I don't know if that's me also kind of naturally caring for others, like also like tending to others, worrying about others' needs first. I don't know, but that's kind of where I've been before with my self-care.
Yeah. No, I get that a lot with clients. Like they just can't really make, or it's hard for them to make time to do things like going to the gym, for example, because they don't want to, they have other things to do. They're parents, they've got jobs, they have a lot going on.
Right.
And that can seem like selfish.
Going to the gym, by the way, does not need to be at a gym.
Right.
And that's one thing that even my professor was telling us about recently, is that like he is always busy. He has 3 kids. He has a wife who's a psychologist, and he has like 2 jobs. So he's always busy, but he made time to work out at home because he has goals, and he realized there's things he can move around for himself.
You make time for the things that you value.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it takes time for you to like understand what is more valuable for you and what the pros and cons are of doing things. Because there are cons of doing things. Like you have to consider that too.
Always,
like you maybe less time with your family, but what is more valuable to you? That you're healthy enough to live long enough to see their kids, go, maybe going to the gym would be something that gets you closer to that.
Exactly.
So,
right.
But yeah, don't feel like self-care is selfish. Like self-care is necessary. Self-care is a time for you to allow yourself to just come back with more, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just necessary.
Ready.
Do we
just
have
to be ready for the
do we have to really?
Yeah, I think you guys get it, right? And like, I actually don't know. Before what I was saying about my professor, he actually is working out at home, so he made that accommodation. So it doesn't always have to be, like I said,
all or nothing.
Going to the gym, right? Or all or nothing, or every day hitting the gym when you can.
Yeah. Also, probably isn't a good idea for you to hit the gym every day.
No.
When are you recovering?
Exactly. That's what we're talking about, guys.
Come on, guys.
You're not supposed to go to the gym every day.
Yeah. And I think that's like part of like just maybe that pressure. Like, I'm not doing enough, especially if you're not seeing progress. Well, the reason you're not seeing progress is because you're not recovering. Like, you're stressed about this and you've got so many other things to focus on besides nutrition and exercise.
Exactly.
So that's what coaching is for.
That's what she is for.
So let's talk about just 3. These are just 3 things that you can do. The guide that I have, if you want it, has a lot of different other ideas to incorporate in here, but I think these are really like the 3 that I found in my life, maybe in your life too, that are the most beneficial, the most enjoyable, and are easy to incorporate into my life. So the first one is meditation. And whenever I talk about meditation, especially to a client or to anybody, I kind of like to ask them, like, what do you think of like meditation is? And they like maybe think like, oh, it's about like getting rid of bad thoughts and things like that. And to me, it's really about practicing coming back to the present moment. We get caught up in what's going on in the future, what's happened in the past, or anything. And it's just about calming those thoughts, coming back to the present moment, recognizing them as thoughts, and just letting it pass like a river. It takes practice. Like, that's what all of these are. Like, it's practice. And meditation is really great. It has like a bunch of like obviously physical benefits, like lowering your blood pressure, lowering your resting heart rate, lowering your cortisol, your stress hormone. So that's, I think, obviously other benefits to it as well. And then the resources that I think maybe you want to try out are Headspace, which is an app. I use that app to meditate. It has meditations already kind of like laid out for you to do, even for the evening. It has podcasts. It has courses on mindful eating. Like, it just has a bunch of cool stuff. It even has like fun stuff for kids, like Star Wars meditations and stuff. So I like that. 10% Happier is another one. I like their podcast as well. They talk a lot about meditation and mindfulness. And then I even like to use Spotify, like just looking up meditation on there, or sound bowls, or like frequencies like beta waves and alpha waves and stuff, especially if I'm like working or reading something.
Yeah, and Netflix also has a few Headspace videos.
That's true.
Or movies or show. I'm not sure what
probably
call
YouTube
it,
even.
Just like videos, and YouTube for sure. They can find so many things on YouTube, like to your liking, not just Headspace. Headspace is very like like uniform. They kind of like keep things very chill. I like it like that. But yeah, and if you don't want to do Headspace, it's on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah. What else do I want to say about meditation? I definitely don't practice it all the time. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's days I don't do it.
Not intentionally. You don't sit down to meditate, but
right.
There are other ways that meditation, can be included in. Or I mean, there are other things that meditation relates to. And
yeah, because all you need to meditate is your breath and your awareness.
Yeah.
You could be sitting in traffic. Like, that's a great time to meditate. Like, maybe don't close your eyes, but like, use that as an opportunity to come back to the present moment, sit there at that red light versus thinking like, oh, I'm so mad that I'm in this traffic. Like,
right.
Be present. You're meant to be there.
Right. Look around you. Yeah. What is lacking in this moment?
Or what is good?
That's a perfect question.
What is lacking?
Well, that's a question that was posed. I read it in a study that was posed to a classroom too, and it was supposed to inspire them and get them to look for everything around you. I mean, yes, it's kind of maybe focusing on negative, but it's not necessarily not focusing on what around you is bad. It's saying what around you is lacking. Like, what can you possibly think of that you want here that isn't here? Like, what else is there? There's nothing but here and now.
And that probably teaches
the answer to that is like nothing is lacking, really.
Right. I was gonna say, and it kind of maybe teaches you at least like what you desire, and like
right. It kind of brings you back to like, what are you thinking? Like, what? Yeah, exactly. Like, what are your priorities then?
Yeah, but to like help align you with like how to get there too. Like, if you feel like this is lacking, go after that.
Gives you a chance to be real with yourself.
Damn, we just got deep
for sure.
But I love meditation. Use Headspace. Use 10% Happier. Just use your mind, people. Use your mind. Yeah. Another one we know Coach Adrienne loves is yoga.
Yoga with Adrienne. Yes. Not that Adrienne, but this Adrienne.
Yeah. Well, so yoga is using your breath, pranayamas, and physical postures, asanas, and you're using that in combination with just like meditation as well. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, promotes like all aspects of your well-being, your physical, your emotional, your mental. Like, I love it when I get clients hooked into yoga. Like, I start them out by watching Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. It's Adrienne. And she's awesome. She's got really good like cues and just good videos, easy flows. Mm-hmm. I still do them to this day. I even have her app and I use it whenever I do my yoga. And that's kind of like inspired me to become a yoga teacher. Like, I want to become a yoga teacher. I'm thinking about going to Mexico or like some other country where they speak Spanish so I can learn yoga in Spanish as well. Porque soy latina.
No se te olviden.
And I love it. And I think there's a lot of personal trainers already in the space of health and wellness, but there's not a lot of people who are helping us to connect like mind body as well. Mm-hmm. So I want to use that and have like kind of have something similar to Yoga with Adrienne, but call it something different.
Might have to, I think, call it something different. Yeah. But yeah, anything flows. Sounds anything good. Flows.
Yep. So,
yeah. Which if you guys don't realize it means like anything goes, but anything flows. A little play on words, a little word play.
Came to me in a meditation.
Came to her in a meditation, guys. That's why you should meditate.
Yeah. And what has yoga helped me with?
Yo, body, yaddy.
Everything.
I mean,
like when Harry said, you hide that body, all that yoga gave you. Exactly. Just kidding. It makes you stronger, y'all. It makes you stronger. And I love seeing just like what I'm able to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a cheerleader in a gym. I wouldn't even say I was a gymnast. Okay. I was a tumbler. Like,
that's pretty much. I'm sorry, but yeah. I think now when you look at it, you're a tumbler. You're a little freaking beep, 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 stick. Little stick that snaps.
I've had 3 knee surgeries. I've dislocated my elbow. Like, my hips are bad. I'm
a bag of geriatric bones over here.
Yeah, I gotta take care of my body, and yoga helps me to do that while making me stronger mentally and physically. So love it. I was thinking about getting a tattoo of like something yoga related. I think about getting a lot of tattoos, a lot. But I do want to get
so meaningful. You must. I think.
Yeah,
you
like
should.
A warrior too.
Because it's pretty, and I know a lot of people even notice. Like, a lot of people know this, that people who go into yoga they love it.
You know what's
they
funny is like when I first started doing yoga, I'm like, how do I get to that point? Like, how do I do that? Like, what do they do?
Yeah.
They practice. Like, you just do it. I think that's like how I got there, is like I was waiting like, okay, when am I going to be one of these people who is like, oh, that girl does yoga, like that's the yoga girl, granola girl over there. And now I'm her.
Yeah.
I'm her.
You're
I'm just
her.
She.
Yeah. So I'm like, making me over here need to step up my game. And I mean,
we got our mom to do it.
Yes.
Like, to do it. She's been doing it every day and she loves it.
It makes me feel better. And there's so many possibilities with yoga. You can just do it for anything. Like, I recently just saw on TikTok, and no, it wasn't TikTok, it was on Instagram, but it was a TikTok of this girl showing poses to fix posture. And that's like one thing that's one thing I struggle with is my posture. I just slouch sometimes and I'm like leaning in, but I need to like rise, my crown may fall. So that's one thing. There's like poses to help open up your chest chakra, and like, oh yeah, your chakras are a whole nother thing, but opening up your posture and standing tall and just feeling naturally more set with your, I don't know, like more using
aligned.
your core, more aligned. Exactly.
More centered.
Centered, yes. Aligned, centered, yes.
Mm-hmm. I like to do, like I said, yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. It's really easy. Start with like just one of the 30-day journeys that she has. Like, you can do this years, but she has one every single year. So it's kind of nice because it's just like 30 full days of doing yoga, and then you can start a new one. Or like if you're in Yuma, Studio Y is a lot of fun. I've gone to some of their classes.
Yeah.
Saturday, what's today? The 20th. So then tomorrow.
Happy 420.
Happy 420. So the 22nd is Saturday.
Yes. They're
having a festival out in like Dateland that Studio Y is hosting.
Yeah, I heard Christina talking about.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna try to go to some of it.
Okay. Okay.
You should come with me.
Well, I will, obviously. Well, we have to go early because I have plans in the evening. But yeah, I want to go to that too.
Yes, I'll have to look at the schedule, and I'll post it actually after we're done recording this, and then obviously keep sharing it. But
yeah, come with us. Oh my God, meet and greet.
No, they said I saw that they had a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, in the studio downtown, it's like a cute house that they just kind of remodeled into the studio. I like to go for hot yoga. It's not hot at all. They have like heaters on, but it's not hot. Like, I've done hot yoga where I was drenched. Like, I was dripping. Like, I went with Celine and she just like laid there, and I was like, if I lay here, I'm gonna just stay there. You know, like, you just got to keep going. But even just laying there, like, it's like a sauna. So it's still good for you. But Studio Y is nice. They also do like workshops and stuff.
Yeah. So if you're like new to yoga, definitely try like maybe a class like that at Studio Y, because we know, you know,
you can get a lot of help
with someone to do it with you, and like someone who knows what they're doing. Someone you might want to feel the energy more. So that's a good place to do it for sure.
Yeah.
And then
the last one here that we wanted to talk about was journaling. And I feel like when I talk about this with clients, I have mine over there. When I talk about journaling with clients, maybe sometimes people think like they just go back to like a memory of them when they were young and writing dear diary. That's not what I'm talking about. You absolutely can do that, but like, just have a book, have a place where you can
have a dialogue with yourself.
Yeah.
And then
slow down your thoughts. Like, that's really, I feel like the magic of journaling is that you're slow when you're writing it out, obviously, versus typing or even just like thinking about something. So you have to, I think it just gives you a little bit more clarity. It helps you to shift your perspective if you needed to. Maybe like look at it from like I said, a different perspective. And I feel like when you're writing it too, like it makes more of an impression on your mind that like this is important too, you know, and you can get that clarity that you need.
Yeah, you see it, you feel it. The more senses the more senses you involve in what you're doing, the more invested you are, and that's a fact. So with anything, write it down, like see it, hear it, say it, you know, make it happen.
Yep. Yeah, and then you could just do prompts, like if you have like there's tons of journals that have prompts in them, or you can look them up. You can make your own prompts. I like to brain dump. Like, I will literally just write whatever.
Yeah, just spill it on the page.
Spill it. Like, spill the tea. Not even. It just like whatever comes to me, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, it's just, you're just dumping out these ideas, dumping out what you need to. Yeah.
That's all it needs to be.
And if it could be a sentence or it could be 2 pages. It's whatever you feel called to do and what's going to help you in that moment. A gratitude journal is also really helpful, like just writing things that you're grateful for and just like reminding yourself that there really is always an opportunity to be grateful for any situation. Like, even if it is something that didn't go your way or something that seems really hard. That's why I asked you that question. Like, you know, is there something that like feels really hard to be grateful for? And for some people, there are really hard things to be grateful for. Like, it's going to be really hard. But I think changing your perspective makes it a little bit easier. So, but also affirmations, releasing, like just things that make that it more of an impression on your brain. Like, this is important.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that also, since I've started like journaling, it hasn't been very consistent at first, but then it meant something more to me. And now it's just like, it's not an obligation. It's me getting to meditate. It's me getting to like be with myself. So that's like one motivator to continue like that self-care, that type of self-care. I feel like
with all of these, put yourself first. Like, you deserve it. You need it.
Choose yourself.
Yeah.
Over, you know, because who else like is going to take care of you? You have yourself and only yourself at the end of the day. So choose yourself to invest in. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it. 3 things that you can do: meditation, yoga, journaling. Pick one. Stick with it. Like, just give it a chance.
Right.
Please.
One thing, I don't know if I said this in the last podcast or to somebody before, but I'm forgetful. So on my mirror, I use an expo marker to write some things down that I don't want to forget, because it's my mirror and I see it every day. And it's
add some positive cues into your environment.
Yeah.
Girl, I could go on about like anything.
Anything really. I was going to say, you could go on.
Yeah.
We could go on, actually.
But
we gotta cap it.
I think we can wrap it up. I actually have an appointment in a few minutes, but it's fine.
It is fine.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that tomorrow, so today we're recording, it's Thursday. Tomorrow the podcast will be out. It'll be Friday. And then that'll be the last day that I'm offering $600 off both of my coaching, the 6-month and the 1-year programs. So if you've been thinking about it, if you have questions about it, just reach out to me. That way we can figure something out. I can totally be flexible. Like, I just want, honestly, opportunities to help people who want help. And I think that like teaches me a lot too. So
yeah, cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So reach out. Friday is the last day. After that, it'll go back to just being $300 off if you pay in full for the programs. But again, I can be flexible. Just like reach out. And then if you want that stress management guide as well, that kind of just breaks down everything a little bit more, especially like the nervous system and all of that, like I can send that over to you. But yeah,
she works so hard. They're so great. Like, I definitely think you guys should use tools like that. And so, especially because this thing is so new to some of you guys. So yeah, please do reach out to anyone, either one of us.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say too, like, a lot of people have reached out, or like I've seen a lot of people honestly, like at the gym, or like I just saw our cousin Sophia at the grocery store, and like it's just fun to hear everybody like say, oh, I listened to your podcast, and like it was really fun, and
just tickles me pink.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening and supporting, and if you can like share, just get the word out, let us know what you need.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or talk over you, but yeah, tell your friends and family.
Yep. Well, that's all we got. Hopefully this was helpful. Let's start focusing more on recovery, self-care. You deserve it.
Yeah, choose yourself.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and have a happy rest of your week.